2023년 제18차 샤카디타 한국대회의 성공 개최를 위해 마련한 기획보도 세계 속 붓다의 딸, 두 번째 주인공은 라마 드보라 씨입니다. 이스라엘 최초 불교사원이자 영상 공동체인 에밤을 설립하고 티베트 경전을 히브리어로 번역하고 있는데요. 최준호 기자가 영상 인터뷰로 만나봤습니다.
네, 드보라 씨께서는 이스라엘 최초의 불교사원인 에밤을 설립하고 지도자로 활동하고 있는 것으로 알고 있습니다. 먼저 어디에 거주하고 있고 또 어떤 일을 하고 있는지 본인 소개와 그리고 에밤에 대해서 간단히 소개를 부탁드립니다.
So evam is our project of promoting peace in the Middle East. The name of our center is Arabacenterro Spiritual Center, which is a Buddhist center in Israel, first of its kind. I mean, there are other Buddhist groups operating in Israel, but we are the first ones who are a Mahayana organization and teaching on different levels, from very open teachings to more advanced teachings. And in addition to Buddhist teachings, we have these peace-promoting activities and also activities that promote well-being in society. So that part of our organization is called evam.
선생님은 수학과 컴퓨터과학 분야에서 석박사 학위를 받고 연구소와 금융기관에서 일하셨습니다. 그런데 어떻게 불교를 접하게 되셨나요?
I was born in Poland. Then when I was a young child, we came to Israel with my family. Then I studied in Israel. I grew up in Israel. I had my own family. And later, myself and my family, we moved to the United States. I never heard of Buddhism before we moved to the United States. But I was always on a spiritual search. There was always something in me that was looking for a spiritual path. So once I came to the United States, I was really looking for teachings and for teachers. And so in the United States, I came across various teachers. One of them was a Lama that came from Tibet. Ken Rinpoche Geshe Losang Tarchin was his name. He already passed away in 2004. And he became my first Buddhist Lama. We were living not too far from the temple, and I studied with him for about 6 years until he passed away. And then later, I studied with other teachers, and I am still studying. Yeah.
유대인들은 자신의 종교에 대한 믿음이 강하다고 알고 있는데요. 티베트 경전을 히브리어로 번역하게 된 계기가 있으실까요?
But all my students, they speak Hebrew because that's the language that is spoken in Israel. So almost everybody also speaks English, but not at a very good level. So to understand the scriptures, they needed to be translated into Hebrew. And so then because I have studied with excellent teachers and have a lot of appreciation for the Buddhist scriptures that I have studied, I decided to translate them into Hebrew. And people appreciated it a lot, and it has been published. I have published them online, and they're available for free to everybody that is interested.
현재 이스라엘 젊은이들에게 불교는 어떤 호소력이 있나요?
More than half the population in Israel is not religious. So for various reasons, they stay away from the Jewish religion because there is a lot of enforcement, which people hate. Like the religious authorities have political power. So there's a lot of religious rules that are being forced on people who don't like that. So the result is that many of them are not religious, but they still have a very strong spiritual calling. And in addition, as you probably know, Israel is a place of a lot of conflict. There's a lot of war. There's a lot of bloodshed. Many people have lost family members in the different wars and conflicts in the region. So in the presence of suffering, people are called to spirituality. So the appeal of Buddhism is that it gives them a way to understand suffering and a way to remove suffering. And I would say that would be the appeal.
내년에 한국에서 제18차 샤카디타 대회가 열립니다. 코로나 팬데믹을 끝내고 다시 세계의 붓다의 딸들이 한자리에 모입니다. 어떤 기대감을 갖고 계신가요?
So the one I participated in was was in Australia in 2019. There were 800 Buddhist women. Most of them were nuns from Asia. There were relatively few Buddhist women from the West. And I mean, there were Australian women and some came from the other countries, but most of them were from Korea, from Vietnam, from Asian countries. And most of them were nuns. So the topics that were occupying most of the time were topics that related to the life of nuns in Buddhist countries. These are not topics that are directly related to what we're doing in Israel. So I don't know what the topics will be in this upcoming 샤카디타 conference, but I would like to hope that they will not be limited only to issues that affect, the status of nuns, even though those are very important issues. They are very important. But I would like to see a broader view, a broader application of Buddhism. There are so many pressing issues in the world right now. There's an economic crisis, there is a climate crisis, there is a violence crisis. There's just so many. And Buddhism is helpful in all of those situations. So my hope is that the 샤카디타 conference will make itself more relevant to those issues.